Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Arya Mainali, and I work with the Innovations Development Team here at the Education Above All Foundation. Before we begin the conversation, I would like to extend my heartfelt thank you to our speakers. Joining us today, Dr. Ishaku Johanna, Economic Recovery and Development Coordinator at the International Rescue Committee, and Mr. Edward Ishaku, the Education Coordinator at the International Rescue Committee. And thank you to all of you in the audience for taking the time to join us and engage in this important conversation. A quick note before we start, this session is being recorded and will be available on the Education Above All Foundation's YouTube channel to be reviewed later. We also encourage you to use the Q&A box for any questions that you may have throughout the session. We'll do our best to address them during the Q&A portion at the end. Today's webinar is a moment to reflect on a project that has brought together multiple sectors, education, livelihoods, climate resilience, and health to support young people in one of the most underserved communities in Northeast Nigeria. As the project comes to an end, we're here to hear from those who've helped implement this project and bring to life and explore what we've learned along the way. Now, I would like to introduce almost Dr. Sarah Ag, the Head of Education Innovation at Education Above All Foundation, to share her opening remarks and lead the session. Over to you, Sarah. Oh, you're muted.
You'd have thought I would be able to manage the mute function by now, but apparently not. So good morning, good afternoon. Hi, everyone. So thank you for joining us today as we take this opportunity to reflect on a project that really embodies the spirit of integration, community-driven development, the Livelihoods and Learn to Earn Plus initiative. So at Education Above All Foundation, we believe that education is a fundamental human right and a critical foundation for dignity, stability, and opportunity. And we're committed to transforming lives through targeted, inclusive, and equitable education for marginalized children and youth across the world. So the Learn to Earn project, in partnership with International Rescue Committee and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, was developed in response to the growing need for holistic, climate adaptive, and youth-centered solutions in a region deeply affected by multiple compounding crises, so conflict, climate change, economic instability, and gender inequality. So young people continue to face significant challenges accessing quality education and sustainable livelihoods. And climate change is disrupting traditional agricultural systems. Conflict has fractured social and economic safety nets, and cultural norms continue to restrict opportunities for many, especially women and girls, despite their central role in agriculture and food production. The Learn to Earn Plus project set out to address some of these intersecting barriers by providing 1,000 young people with access to non-formal education through foundational literacy and numeracy skills, vocational skills training, health information, and livelihoods opportunities. The aim was not just to build skills, but also to build resilience, empowering youth with the tools, knowledge, and support networks to withstand future shocks and forge sustainable futures. So we really hope that today's discussion will inspire collaboration, innovation, and continued commitment towards inclusive, adaptive, and locally grounded solutions. So thank you once again for joining us, and we really look forward to your reflections and the contributions throughout today's session. So back to you, Arya.
Thank you, Sarah. We have a short video from the project that I would like to share. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
In the heart of Adamawa State, settled within the Fufor local government area, lies the once neglected community of Farang Farang. a village known for its struggles with basic services like clean drinking water, education, healthcare, and the frequent flooding that disrupted daily life. For years, Farang Farang's residents had little hope for change as they struggled with the challenges of survival. The community's challenges were stark. There was no clean drinking water, and the educational infrastructure was virtually non-existent. For the youth in Farang Farang, access to education was a distant dream. However, the IAC's Learn to Earn Plus program offered a sign of hope. This innovative program targeted out-of-school adolescents and youth, equipping them with essential skills to adapt to climate change, improve resilience, and ultimately create a brighter future for themselves and their community. The project integrates education, environmental health, WASH, and economic recovery and development, ERD, sector interventions. The L2E Plus project also provided access to clean water, which is fundamentally lacking in this community. It has helped adolescents and youth and their families better manage and improve their hygiene levels and access to sanitary wares.
Farang Farang and its catchment areas had learning structures that were abandoned before the commencement of the project. Instead of allowing the learning centers to dilapidate, the IRC decided to use the abandoned learning facilities, renovating some in the process. The use of the hitherto abandoned learning facilities had two major added advantages. First, it saved the project the cost of constructing new learning centers. And second, it provided a typical classroom environment similar to formal educational settings that make learning more comfortable.
With a comprehensive curriculum designed to address the root causes of vulnerability, L2E Plus went beyond basic education. It combined literacy and numeracy with vital life skills, including climate-smart agriculture, health and hygiene, social-emotional learning, SCL, and youth business development. The program didn't just teach learners how to read and write, it gave them the tools to change their circumstances. With a structured 4-month learning sessions, organized into 2 cohorts, the IRC has improved the knowledge of 1,000 adolescents and youth in literacy, numeracy, menstrual health and hygiene management, climate-smart agriculture, and youth business and life skills.
To promote financial inclusion among the adolescents and youth, 10 VSLA groups were established in Farang Farang community comprising of 20 members each. This led to total savings of 4,280,900 naira. 180 clients have accessed loan amounting to 346,900 naira social fund.
Considering the menstrual health and hygiene limitations faced by adolescent girls in Farang Farang, 100 adolescent girls and women were equipped with skills to independently produce reusable sanitary pads and soap at home using locally available materials, thereby enhancing their menstrual hygiene knowledge and management.
Through the L2E Plus project, 1,000 clients were trained in seed distributorship, and each supported with improved maize and rice seeds to the ton of 5 kilograms each for climate-smart agriculture.
To address the problem of safe and drinking water scarcity in the Farang Farang community, 3 hand-pumped boreholes were constructed, granting 1,500 adolescent boys and girls improved access to water for drinking and personal hygiene.
The achievements recorded by the Learn to Earn Plus project have prompted appreciations from the community members. Suleiman Bakery, one of the respected community leaders, expressed profound gratitude for the impact of the program. In his words, before educating our children, we, the parents, were the first beneficiaries. They taught us how to farm during the rainy and dry seasons. We also learned how to prepare for floods, something we had never known before. We were illiterate, but now IRC has opened our eyes to so many things, Bakery said. Before, we didn't know how to farm or what to do in case of floods. But now, we are prepared to handle such challenges. And today, many of our children can read and write. This is a great achievement, and we are truly thankful to those who funded and implemented this project. This transformation was made possible through the comprehensive education provided in the program. For the first time, community members understood the importance of planning their agricultural activities, especially in relation to seasonal changes and the looming threat of floods. This knowledge is critical in a region where the climate can be unpredictable and flooding is a recurring challenge.
wani lokaci kuma da kanu na kai wani shekara baya wani shekara kuma yana yi amma kaga wannan karin mun samu kusan shekara biyu ko kwajere ana fuskantar ambaliya kuka abun ya shiga cikin fuskanta to don a halin kan akwai halin kan ba dama don abun da za a ci ma ya tsina kakara sai a shiga titi ana neman tafasa labi ganye wani samu hada da manda wani da baki ma ba ta samu ba a hada babu ana zaune to na gaskiya abin da muke fuskanta yanzu babu kamar abin da za mu ci a yanzu haka bari mu sha mu dai taimakon mu shine a yi kokari a nema mana inda za mu sha ruwa mu ci abinci da kuma inda za a taimaka mana domin mu tsirar da gaskiya inda muke a ciki ba mu san inda za mu je mu nemi mu ci ban ba ta hanyar.
The International Rescue Committee is grateful to Education Above All for enabling the achievements made possible by the Learn to Earn Plus project.
Now, I would like to introduce the floor to our colleagues from the IRC, Dr. Ishaku and Mr. Edward, to delve more into the project implementation, the impact of the project, and key lessons learned and challenges and strategic responses.
Thank you. And thank you all participants for finding time to attend this webinar today. I've been introduced, Edward Ishaku is my name. I lead the education sector for IRC in Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you, Arya, for that. My name is Dr. Ishaku Yohana, agro-sociologist. I'm the Economic Recovery and Development Technical Coordinator for IRC in Nigeria.
Thank you. So the Learn to Earn project, which IRC implemented in Farang Farang for a local government of Adamawa State, Nigeria, it is an integrated programming. Now, Farang Farang is a community located along the river banks with a seasonal flooding year in, year out. So the integrated really combines climate-smart agriculture, wash, and education. For us, it's a powerful strategy really to build resilience among the communities and achieving societal development. And so why we decided to go into that, because we felt implementing these three sectors separately really will not give a desired result, looking at the nature and the population that we are supporting. And so we felt creating an integrated programming is a strategic solution instead of tackling a problem, let's say education, as wash or climate smart agriculture. And therefore, we targeted adolescent girls aged 18 to 24 in this community of Farang Farang, who are mostly out of school and could not have access to basic education. And so we provided a holistic approach to implementing the project Learn to Earn, And so during this implementation, we have recorded a significant increase in their numeracy and literacy skills, where 68% of learners attended the learning session have improved literacy and numeracy skills. And so the smart agricultural farming practices that we've trained these adolescent youth and girls, really because of the seasonal flooding, they are not able really to cultivate their farmlands during the rainy season. And so we train them on how best they can be able to provide irrigation farming, especially during the dry season. And so the integrated approach that we have deployed in this community have really provided significant improvement in terms of knowledge that these participants have gained. About 58% really gained significant knowledge on how best they can be practicing their smart agricultural practices, vocational training, and financial management. And so the locations, like I've mentioned, really, there are poor personal and environmental hygiene, especially for adolescent girls. 500 adolescent girls really received training on menstrual hygiene management. And like you have seen from the video, they have been trained on how best they can produce sanitary pads on their own. We supported them with the sewing machines. They have been trained on how to use locally available resources for them to produce that. 68% of them have successfully been trained on how to produce reusable sanitary pads for them to take care of their personal hygiene. To ensure financial inclusion, like we've seen in the video, we have established 10 village savings and loan associations. Of course, the villagers are not even have access to commercial banks. And so these village savings and loan associations have provided an opportunity for financial inclusion for our clients in Farang Farang. They are able to collect loan among themselves for them to go into petty business and also go into farming, agricultural farming business that supports their livelihood and the livelihood of their families and their community at large. Next slide. We have also provided a durable seats for their clients. 66% have received the support through the distribution of seeds where they have used to plant, especially in the dry season, as well as early planting. And this is really their improved varieties of seeds that have high yield and that have high yield. We have also constructed 3 hand pump boreholes in selected communities around Farang Farang where we've implemented our programs. Over 1,500 households now have access to safe and drinking water, which hitherto before now, they don't have access to potable drinking water. They used the river around their community to access drinking water. 73% have reported increased and improved water supply access to this community. Now, these are the significant impact that we have recorded really during the implementation of Learn-to-Earn project for the last 18 months in Farang Farang. We will now look at the success, the lesson we've learned while implementing this project. Over to you, Shaq.
Thank you. The projects documented a lot of lessons learned during the course of implementing this project. Given that this is a pilot project and there's need to document lessons learned so that it will guide future planning, future programming of this nature. And of course, this is very important to us that we'll document this. Other partners can even come and learn from this lesson learned from the implementation of this project. The first one is strong government collaboration. Effective partnership with the ministries, departments, and agencies improve government buy-in and smooth project execution. We had a very robust partnership with government ministries on this project, because we had earlier informed them and also carried them along throughout the project's implementation. And also advocacy and community engagement, which is very important to us. Early stakeholders advocacy and consistent community presence enhance project acceptance and long-term sustainability. Our project stakeholders has been like 2 to 3 times into the to the project locations to see what we are doing, and also providing all the necessary guidance and support to ensure the success of this project. That makes the stakeholders to be carried along at each stage, at each step of the project. Another important lesson learned from this project is the holistic integrated programming, integrating interventions across sectors like economic recovery and development, education, WASH, effectively addresses diverse community needs. Implementing this project, one beneficiary implementing one beneficiary or one client accessing services from different outcome areas like the climate smart agricultural practices, from the financial inclusion, literacy and numeracy, and also the safe water, drinking water. This is very, very important and key into this project, because beneficiaries were able to receive this different intervention as a package to them. Another lesson learned is leveraging learning structure. Because of the relationship we had with the government stakeholders, we were able to use the abundant educational facilities in the community to facilitate our the IRC's learning sessions. And yeah, that provided a very good and conducive environment to learners also, and also the learner facilitators to continue to continue the learning sessions and also enhance learning. Next slide. Another important is gender sensitivity. The RSC was very, very intentional on this to ensure that we carry along both male and female youth and adolescent girls into this programming. It was intentional to ensure that we targeted more of female out of school children or adolescent and youth into this programming, which of course boost female engagement and participation in the learning session. Another one is introducing new concept encourages positive change in behavior. That's knowledge exposure, bringing them, exposing them to different learning, like climate smart agriculture, how to produce reusable sanitary pad, climate smart agriculture, and financial inclusion. So this exposes them to different learning and also created a lot of impact during the course of implementing this project. We have also skill-based approach. Practical skills can lead to widespread impact, including unexpected. There are a lot of practical skills during the course of implementing this project, more especially when we provide a sewing machine to ensure that girls can produce the sanitary pad. We demonstrated to them practically, and they were able to understand, and now they can do that. Also, soap preparation locally within their community. We provided, the project provided all the available material that could support them to prepare soap for their laundries and other washing activities within the community. We also provided learning incentives during the course of implementing this project. This is an important learning. When you motivate learners to learn, they are willing to learn. We provided a lot of incentive, more especially in the engagement of community-based learner facilitators. They know them, they are within their community, they can at any time ask questions, So there are people that are facilitators that are familiar to the community. So this is one of the motivating factors. Even during learning session, we provided a lot of learning materials like books, writing materials, and other like light refreshment during learning session. This is an important motivator also to learners during the course of implementing this project in Farang Farang community of Adamawa State. So all these lessons learned will go into future programming and also planning, because these are some of the important learnings that we documented during the course of this. But of course, this is a pilot project. It will not go without any challenges, because there must be a challenges during the course of implementing such programming. More especially, this is a pilot project. And of course, we encountered some challenges, which of course we try to see how best we could address these challenges. Next slide, I'll pass it to Edwards.
So these are some of the challenges really that we've encountered during the implementation of Learn to Earn Plus in Farang Farang. And one of the major challenges really is the rising community interest in the programming. Now, remember, I've mentioned the location of this community really is very hard to reach, with difficulty in accessing this community, with no availability of social amenities. And so the project really have gained the interest of the community. So we have high demand of participants to wanting to attend this program. But again, of course, we are limited in terms of resources and the number of beneficiaries that we are actually by contractual obligation to reach. So what we did was really to targeted sensitization and awareness campaign within the community, try to profile and target the most vulnerable among the communities where we've implemented this activity. And of course, there are other nearby communities that have also indicated interest. And so what we did, especially in cohort 2, is to expand the project reach to include the neighboring communities around so that they can as well benefit from this Learn to Earn Plus projects. Of course, again, the limited accessibility during the wet season, like I've mentioned, it's a very difficult terrain to access via road, especially from the month of June, July, August, and September, when this rainy season have set in. So you can see from the video where colleagues have to access this community through the water transport. You can see from the video that was shown. So difficult access to locate this community. So we did really was to leverage on the digital tool to enable remote engagement. So of course, yes, of course, there is access to internet, communication services. So we provide remote monitoring. We have also provided access point, and that is why when we expanded to other communities, so we are able to reach these communities. And so through that, we are able to monitor what is happening across the communities where we implement our activities. We have also established or developed a contingency plan outlining alternative access strategies for wet season operations. And so one of which is when the water level is favorable for us to travel via water transportation system. So we also explore that to monitor the communities where we implement these activities. Can you go to the next slide, please? Now, we also have a shortage of qualified learning facilitators. Of course, we have to make sure that what we do is really culturally sensitive and appropriate, and that we use the local resources within the community to provide these support services for our clients. And of course, that will also ensure inclusivity and acceptability by the community, seeing their youths really training their fellow youth within the community. These are some of the youth that we're able to identify within the community that have attended higher level of education. By Nigerian policy, a teacher needs to have a basic minimum of a national certificate of education. So we're able to identify 10 learning facilitators within the community that possesses this certificate, and we're trained in the Federal Colleges of Education in Adamawa State. And so we've provided training for these learning facilitators to be able to deliver teaching and learning for our clients in Farang Farang. And so this is, the major challenge therefore is that it was not easy really to identify these learning facilitators within the community where we implement our activities. But what we did for us again is to ensure that we provide one face-to-face training to build their capacity in delivering effective teaching and learning, as well as providing an ongoing mentorship and support for these learning facilitators. We have also closely worked with local education authority in Fufore, who really have the oversight in monitoring the activities of education intervention in the local government. So they have provided one-on-one support for this learning facilitator who serve as our mentor teachers. We also have what we call the monthly learning cycle, where these learning facilitators really meet on a monthly basis to discuss among themselves some of the challenges that they are having while delivering teaching and learning and how best they can surmount this challenge among themselves, in addition to what we do as an organization, as well as what the government is doing, because we have a very close collaboration with government in addressing these challenges. I think one of the major challenges really that we have discovered in the community, now even the former school teachers deployed to this community find it so difficult to remain in this community because one, the terrain, and so it's so difficult for them to do. And so the government was so happy with what the initiative that we brought to this community, to Farang Farang community. And so they also provide their on-the-spot assessment to ensure that these learning facilitators really have improved skills to deliver effective teaching and learning. Again, the language barrier, communication challenge, not only, especially with the our clients, our participants. And so that was also another challenge that we've encountered. So what we did was to deliver in their local language, so for better comprehension. And so where necessary, also we have an interpreter that translates into their local language for them to understand really what we are trying to educate them about. And so we also design a programming that's actually culturally responsive and locally appropriate for us to have acceptability and scalability of our project. And so we also have trained the learning facilitators on how best they can deliver the teaching and learning in their language. So by and large, these are the key challenges really that we've encountered during the project implementation and how we are able to provide strategic response to some of these challenges and ensure we have smooth implementation of our project from the beginning to the end of Learn to End Plus. Thank you, and over.
Here are some
Next slide.
pictures.
Yes, we have some. Yeah, so these are some of the pictures, especially when we host Sarah and Dora. They were able to visit this location, despite, I think I must appreciate them at this point for agreeing really to follow us, because from the state capital to Farang Farang, I think it's about 1 hour 45 minutes drive in that kind of terrain. You can imagine the distance covered. And so we're able to go with them to this community. At least they have seen firsthand really what we are discussing and the challenges especially, and even the impact we have recorded as a result of Learn to End Plus. So these are some of the pictures of Dora looking at the passbook of VSLE activities, a learner really trying to demonstrate some simple sentences, and learners actually, our participants presenting or showcasing their certificates of completion. Just to show that, again, we have a distribution of the seats, and see Sarah is just looking at the exercise books of the learners, and the community, of course, with our guests, Sarah and Dor. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, our colleagues from IRC, Dr. Ishaku and Edward. We have some questions in the chat. Sorry, actually, I'm just gonna start with my questions. If anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat. I will start the questions from my side first. In your view, do you think the time frame for this project was sufficient to generate meaningful and measurable impact within the target communities?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this question. I can say, even though we were able to record a significant achievement and impact within the 16 months of this project implementation, I can say that if we have more time to implement this project, the impact would have been better, because there are a lot of requests from the community, there are a lot of need from the community. Of course, the time was so limited, even though we were able to achieve a lot of impact, but given a very good time frame for the implementation of this project will enable us to do even more, to create more impact for our client in any of the communities we are targeting for this type of programming.
Just a quick addition, please. One of the challenges really that we've encountered is if you look at our target population, we targeted 18 to 24. And so we also have beneficiaries lower than this age group, which have really indicated interest for them to be part of this activity. And so, of course, the time frame too was not enough for us to be able to reach this set of individuals that have also dedicated interest. So my time will have been more reasonable for us to have recorded more impact than what we have really showcased. So you can imagine if in the span of 16 months we are able to achieve this, you can imagine if it is more than that, it will be more achievement than what so far we have really achieved. Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you for that. And what measures have been established to ensure that the continuity and sustainability of the project is beyond the implementation period?
Okay, yeah, thank you. I think we mentioned earlier, that we worked with community-based learner facilitators. We try to identify community-based learner facilitators that within their community that will continue providing support to clients within these communities. This is very key to us, because if we bring somebody outside the community, it will have been difficult for community members to continue asking questions, continue coming to them for any support. And also we created linkage between the community members and National Agricultural Seed Council and seed distributors. This linkage will serve as a connection between them for them to continue engaging with them for their climate smart agricultural seed. So the government agricultural development program also are in loop of this programming. We also created a linkage between our client and also the agricultural development program for them to continue providing support. We link them to where they could go and look for any support, any advice on their agricultural production programs. This, of course, a very, very sustainable way. And most importantly, at this initial stage of this project, throughout the project implementation, we worked together with our government stakeholders. We carry them along. They are aware of this program, and they have even made a commitment to ensure that they continue providing the necessary services and also support to the client in this community. So these are some of the things that we put together to ensure that there's continuity. They continue to ensure that they created a lot of impact. The impact is there within their community for quite a long period of time. I don't know if Edward has any input.
Yeah, that's great. You've said it all. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I think the follow-up question would be for EAA. Sarah, what's next in the Livelihoods project?
Oh, interesting question. So I think ideally, having seen the impact of this on the community and having been and spent time with the clients and also with the IRC team, I think we're really excited at the potential for this proof of concept and we're looking for an opportunity to expand and have a follow-on pilot project where we can really measure impact and gather a lot more data on the ground so that we can advocate for hopefully taking this to scale.
Thank you for that, Sarah. There's a question in the chat that it goes, what lessons can we take forward to ensure girls continue to have access to such programs? I guess this question is open for all of you.
Yeah, so what lessons will we take forward to ensure girls have access to education? Is it education?
Sorry, what lessons can we take forward to ensure girls continue to have access to such programs?
Yeah, sure. So I think in one of during our presentation, Ishaku have mentioned where we deliberately targeted adolescent girls, about 500 of them that actually participated in this program. And what we did really is to ensure that they have a learning facilitator, female learning facilitator really that provided one-on-one sessions with them. One beyond the training on the menstrual hygiene practices, for example, they have also been exposed into the village loan and savings scheme that we have talked about, and have also encouraged to participate and engage themselves not only into the farming practices that we've trained them, but also into the business ventures. Now, our training really is not only for them to know how to read and write, but also to also have an interaction with the business men and women that actually comes to their villages to interact into the business ventures. And so we have also introduced them on how they can also invest into petty business within the community. And so one of the testimonies we've received during our closeout activity, our closeout program during the closeout session was that today some of these girls have now started their businesses on their own within the community. And so we could see how this project have really encouraged the adolescent girls to start something on their own through the skills that they have learned from the project. And again, as part of our scalability plan, we have also closely worked with what's it called? Remind me, Ichaku, the officer in charge of the water sanitation, the water sanitation that actually promised that they can form a local organization, a local association. What they even promised them is that the village and local, village savings and local association, they can form as an association, develop like a bylaws, register with the government, and ensure that the government is aware that this association is actually located in Farang Farang. Should there be any assistance from the government, they can be contacted within their community and provide such assistance, especially with respect to soft loans that will boost their businesses, as well as agricultural support in terms of if they want to go into farming practices. So these are some of the measures really that we've put in place and try to connect the community and the government so that they are recognized and known that they are in the community, and should there be any opportunity that the government would like to support, farming association is very easy for them to get support from the government than individual. So these are some of the strategies really we've put in place to ensure that this project is sustained and the adolescent girls continue to benefit from this project and also stand on their own in the future. Thank you. Shaq, I don't know if you have something to add to that question.
No, it's fine. I've said it all. And just to add, we also were very intentional about the social and behavioral change to ensure that, yes, educating a girl child is very, very important. And we were able to make that sensitization within the community, and we were able to win the interest of community members to ensure that girls are also included in this programming. Thank you.
And one final question, also open to all three of you. How would you integrate this younger age group which you mentioned into the program? So how would you integrate younger age groups into the program? Because right now, our target was mostly adolescents. If you could answer this as well.
Yeah, so we have closely worked with the Education Secretary of for the local education authority. And in all our engagements, we have closely worked with him, who has the mandate of enrolling the younger ones into basic education programming. Now, we are able to identify these challenges and met with him, discussed with him. We invited him. That's one. Two, we have also closely worked with Adamawa State Agency for Mass Education to create non-formal learning centers for the out-of-school children within the community. And that is why, if you look at what we talk about, the lessons we've learned in this project is our close collaboration with these two agencies of government, who are starting with the responsibility of ensuring that school-age children are enrolled into formal school, and those that are from age 9, 10, 11 to 15 that are out of school have opportunity to participate in non-formal learning education centers. And the government have different interventions, and one of which is ensuring that the Agency for Mass Education establish non-formal learning centers in these communities where we have this number of out-of-school children. And this issue is not only in this community, but it's one of the challenges that we have in country, in the number of out-of-school children. Again, for us as project, as organization, we are able to identify these locations, profiling this number of out-of-school children. And that is why in one of our recommendations to EAA moving forward, should there be opportunity for us to scale up this project, we also want to look at this group of children that could not participate, would not have the opportunity to participate in this project, where we also want to extend the intervention to children below the age of 18 for those that are out of school. And for those that are within the age bracket of enrolling to school, working with the local education authority to conduct what we call the enrollment drive between the month of September and October, when the new calendar session for academic calendar starts in country for them to be enrolled into formal school. So these are the agencies we work with closely, and also hoping to ensure that the Agency for Mass Education enroll the out-of-school children into the non-formal learning centers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. One final question on climate resilience and local knowledge. How do you think the local knowledge and local culture shape the delivery of climate resilience training? And how did the training influence local practices and change in attitudes?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yeah, so we have been working in those communities implementing anticipatory action programming, which will deliver anticipatory action, cash, and most importantly, the early warning messages to these communities. So these communities are much familiar now with early warning system, and also using the local available materials or facilities or means of communication within the community to pass this information, like time criers, using of megaphones within the community, and also the use of community leaders that they are most respected. So we try to, because they are accustomed to producing during wet season, and because traditionally this is what they have been doing for quite a long period of time. But now we introduce the concept of wet season, dry season irrigation farming for them to now engage in dry season farming. And most importantly, also the climate smart agricultural seeds. Within the community, they are used to their saved seeds for their yearly crop production. But we were able to break that chain by bringing an expert from the National Agricultural Seed Council to now train the communities, train the client, 200 clients, which of course cascaded this to the community members on the use of improved and climate smart seeds, which of course supersedes all that they have within their community. Initially, they were like This is the seed that we normally use. This is what we are using in this community. Why different things coming entirely, but with a lot of sensitization, a lot of trainings given to the community based seed distributors within the community, they were able to now jettison the traditional way of producing crops, and now they are trying to embrace. A lot of them are now into dry season irrigation farming, which of course changed the narratives within the community.
Thank you so much for that. We have already run over time a little bit. So for the questions that have not been answered, we will get back to you on those questions. And thank you so much for everyone who has joined us today. A heartfelt thank you to our speakers, Dr. Ishaku Yohana and Mr. Edward Ishaku, for sharing your insights, experiences, and reflections from the field. Your work and dedication and your teams have been central to the success of this project, and your reflections today have helped ground this project and bring this to reality. Over the last 50 minutes, we've had the opportunity to look back on the proof of concept that not only responded to immediate community needs, but also laid the groundwork for long-term resilience, from foundational literacy to numeracy, to climate resilience, climate adaptive livelihoods. The Learn to Earn Plus project has shown us the potential of integrated, locally grounded programming to shift outcomes for young people, especially girls who are left behind. As we close this webinar, I hope today's conversation has sparked ideas, surfaced lessons, and highlighted the importance of continuing work in this field and in this partnership and with the communities that we serve. This session has been recorded and will be available on Education Above All Foundation's YouTube channel shortly. If we were unable to get back to your questions during the live session, we will follow up where possible. On behalf of the Education Above All Foundation and the International Rescue Committee, thank you again for being here, and we look forward to continuing this important work together. Thank you, take care, and goodbye for now.